Okay. So on part C, it says, assuming Ndogi PLC has a gearing level of 40% as measured by the debt to equity, estimate the weighted average cost of capital based on the result from 1, A1 and B2. All right. Colleagues, this word gearing, again, never forget this because fourth year it is coming again. Okay. Yes. Gearing, how much debt you're using compared to the equity in terms of financing. Okay. How much debt you are using compared to your own money. Okay. The higher the gearing, it means you're using more debt than your own money, which brings in financial risk. Okay. High levels of gearing will indicate to you as an investor that this company has got a high financial risk. What do we mean by financial risk? It might fail to pay back the interest, those interest payments it has to pay you. Unlike government, which theoretically will always give you those interest payments, the company might make a loss that year and they fail to pay you your interest. Okay. So usually gearing, it's best if it's low. Because even as an entrepreneur, okay, you would want to use more of your money as compared to debt. So as an entrepreneur, you'd want your gearing to be at least even just 10%. Using 10% debt financing, 9% equity financing. That way, when you go to a venture capitalist or an angel investor, they'll be able to say, okay, since you're using more of your money, you're looking more credible. We can invest in you. Similarly, with the public limited companies, those with lower gearing are more, you can feel safe to invest in them. Okay. Yes. So the formula for gearing is just debt over equity. Right. It's just debt over equity. And how you interpret gearing of 40%. Okay, this is how you can interpret a gearing of 40%. Okay. So for every one kwacha of equity that you have, or for every one kwacha of your own money, there is a 40 ngwe of debt. Mr. Mwaba, how did you get that 40 ngwe of debt? I just did 40% of one kwacha. Okay. Or you can say for every 100 kwacha you have of your own money, okay, you have 40% of 100 kwacha, you have 40 kwacha of debt. Okay. The denominations is up to your colleagues. You can use one kwacha, 100, 10, 1,000 kwachas. Okay. That's what a gearing of 40% is. Any questions before we proceed? Mhm. Oh, yeah, okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, all right. So the purpose of the lecturer giving you the gearing here is so that you can determine the capital structure of this company. Okay, in this work formula, have you seen this part here? E over V and D over V. Yes, these are the weightages, okay, colleagues? They are the weightages. When we talk about weightages, we're just talking about out of your total financing, how much comes from equity, out of your total financing, how much comes from debt. Okay. So please pay attention on this part so that you do not get confused on this part. Yes. So we said for every one kwacha of equity, there is 40. 14 way in debt. So we're going to use this 0.4 to 1, okay, saying that we've got 14 way debt financing and 1 quarter debt finance, equity financing. So we're going to use this so that we can tabulate the weightages, okay. If we wanted, we would have used 40 and 100 quarter. Okay, we would have used 1,400 quarter. You can use whichever you feel like. Okay. Yes. So this is the ratio that we're going to use to tabulate the weightages. Okay. So V just represents total financing. Okay. So the total financing, debt financing 0.4. Okay, equity financing 1. So it says 0.4 plus 1, 1.4. Okay. Then you're going to see how I'll use those to get the weightages in the formula. Any questions before I move in? No, sir, you are not logged out. You are not logged out. Maybe I never paraphrased it well. Okay, you can just say, sir, I did paraphrase it well. Okay. We want to get our weightages. Okay, Mr. Twambo, we need to tabulate our weightages for this question. Okay. So since we've been given the gearing level, all right, we can use that information from the gearing level to get our weightages. So remember, our gearing is 40%, right, Mr. Twambo? 40%, all right? So, yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, Mr. Twambo, I'm recording this class. I'm recording this class. Now, are you following with the explanation? Because I need to make sure that you are following, sir. Okay? I need to make sure you are following. So, are you okay with the first part that I did, Mr. Twambo? The first part of the explanation. Are you okay with that? Okay, we start again. Okay, we start again. Yes. So we are trying to get our weightages. Okay, to tabulate the weighted average cost of capital. So where are we going to get our weightages from? The information about the gearing. Okay. Since we've been given the level of gearing this company has, um, I can't hear you, Mr. Trumbo. Hello, are you there? Are you still there, sir? Maybe he's been kicked out of by network. Are you there, Mr. Trumbo? Okay. Yes, so I was saying that we are using the gearing so that we can get our weightages. Okay. From this gearing, we know that if it's 40%, the gearing is 40%. Since we haven't been given any figure, okay, that's why we're using this 1 and 0.4 or this 140. Okay. If we're given a total figure here, you get 40% of that figure. That would be your debt financing, and the other 60% equity financing. But we're not given any figure, colleagues. Okay, we were not given any figure. So when you're not given any figure, colleagues, you don't just dream up a new figure. Okay, you do not dream up a new figure, but You just use the mathematical basics that come with these ratios. Okay. So yes, the gearing level is 40%. So we're been given the financing here. So we know that, okay, the ratio that we can use for debt financing and equity financing is this one here, 0.4 to 1. Okay, because remember, gearing is telling you how much of debt financing you have compared to your equity financing. Okay, so you say, okay, if I have a 1 quarter of equity financing, then how much of debt financing will I have? 40% of 1 quarter, 0.4. Colleagues, any questions on that part? Mr. Twambo. Okay, yeah, not colleagues. Mr. Twambo, any questions there? Oh, okay. What about the others? Any questions? Yeah. Oh, okay. Continue. Continue. Yes. Okay. So, Madam Sylvia, how to remember this in case he gives maybe another level of gearing? Okay. Maybe if they give you the level of gearing, okay, you just choose what denominator of equity financing that you want to use. So if you're given a 70% gearing, then you say, okay, so if I have 1 quarter of equity, then in terms of debt, how much will I have? Just do 70% of 1 quarter. You have 70 in way of debt financing. Then that's how you can tabulate your weightages. Okay, you just pick the denomination, ones, tens, or hundreds for the equity, then multiply it by the percentage to get the debt. Does that make life simple, Madam Sylvia? When you just see the gearing level? Okay. How about the others? Any questions so far? So that I can go now to the formula here. Okay. So once we've got the weightages, the information that we need for the weightages, we already have our cost of equity, we already have our cost of debt, after tax cost of debt. Okay. So first things first, you get your weightages. Okay. You want to say, okay, out of this 1.4, what percentage is equity financing? Remember, equity is representing 1. So we're going to say 1 over 1.4, okay, times the cost of equity. Remember, this 21%, they told us in the question you have to get the, what's this? Yeah, cost of capital based on A1. And remember, in A1, using the dividend growth model, we got cost of equity as 21%. Okay, let's make sure. Let's see cost of equity. 0. So this was 26%. Okay, so I had to put 26% then put 21%. It was actually 26% here. So here we put 26%. Weightage of debt 0.4, since they've given you the gearing level, 40%, 0.4 or 14 well, and compared to 1 quarter of equity financing over 1.4. And they told us the cost of debt that we have to use for this question is the one from B2. Okay, this one which we used, we got here, this one is 15.28%. Okay, so you divide 1 divided by 1.4, 0.714. Okay, basically saying this company uses 71% equity financing, multiplied by 21, 26% here. Then here 0.4 divided by 1.4, this is 0.286, telling us that this company uses 28% debt financing. Okay. Yes, with that low gearing level, this company is okay. Okay, because they use more of their own money to finance their operations and their assets. Okay. Yes. So we're going to say 0.714 multiplied by 26. Those with calculator, 0.714 multiplied by 26. Okay, you get 18.564. Then 0.286 multiplied by 15.28. Or they have it 4.377. Okay, so 4.377 plus 18.56, you get 22.93%. This is the weighted average cost of capital, the overall cost of financing. Okay, from the. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are you saying here? I'm using the. Are you saying here? Let's see. Mm-hmm. Wait. What was the growth rate? The growth rate was at 10% in this question. Oh, 10. Oh, here I was trying to find out what happens if the growth rate increases and I increase it to 50. Okay, so it was still 21%. Okay. I don't know why I put it like this. Yes, it was still 21%. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chimonia. I was about, I would have started receiving calls in the middle of the night then. So we used, how did you find 26%? Mr. Twamp, you would have been like, sir, where is this? Oh, thank you, Mr. Chimonj. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I was just trying to see when you increase the growth rate, what happens with the cost of equity, and we've seen it grows. Also, the cost of equity increases. Okay. Yes, so this is also supposed to be here. Yes. 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 Okay, just wait. So yes, colleagues, it's mhm. you, ignore, you ignore it since you've already done it. You ignore it since I've already done the one. You're saying we you yeah. So basically asking we don't need to make this adjustment again when we reach here, right? Hello, I can get you. I'm getting you well and clear. Well and clear.